Hello, my name is Wesley Boudreau with the Retirement Group. Today I'm going to give you a quick update on the interest rates and how they're affecting the pension lump sum calculations for ConocoPhillips employees from the transition in fourth quarter 2020 to first quarter 2021. Now, before I get started, anybody that does have any questions, as always, feel free to give us a call at 1-800-900-5867. We'll be more than happy to answer your personal questions, but also run our updated cash flow analysis so you know exactly where you stand and keep you up to date on those interest rate changes and how they can affect your pension. Now, for those of you who do not know or remember who the Retirement Group is, we are an independent financial advisory firm that focuses on working with corporate employees and helping them transition into retirement. We've been doing this for about 30 years or so, and we've worked quite extensively with ConocoPhillips employees and helped them transition over the years as well. What this does, it allows us to focus on understanding the company benefits plans, so we know those inside and out to help you transition and make sure you don't make any mistakes and leave any money on the table as you transition. We got offices throughout the country, so rest assured we'll probably be able to sit down with you face to face, but obviously in these specific times we're available via web or phone as well. Again, the biggest focus on working with us is to understand your company plans and make sure you don't make any mistakes as you transition. One of the best ways to do this is to run our complimentary cash flow analysis, which can help you determine the best day to retire so you don't leave any money on the table. We can run this whether you're a couple months away from retirement or whether you're 5 or 10 years away from retirement, and potentially uncover some changes you may need to look at. Now, as far as ConocoPhillips employees, when we look at your pension options, it really depends upon how long you've been in the company and what division you started with as far as your pension choices. So you could have the cash balance plan, which is going to be a little bit more simple, where it's looking at contributions ConocoPhillips makes for you. We're not going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking more about the lump sum calculation, how it affects those of you who are Title I, which is a Phillips retirement income plan, and then also Title IV, the retirement plan of Conoco. These are two formula-based pension plans, in which case they take a look at your years of service and your final average pay, and a multiplier and a Social Security offset to determine how much they're going to give you as a single life annuity for the rest of your life. So on these two pension plans, you're going to have that single life annuity as one option. You could have a joint survivor annuity, where if you want to make sure that your significant other is going to have some payments if you pass away first. But then there's also the lump sum calculation, which is what we'll talk about today. Excuse me. What they do in order to calculate a lump sum is take a look at your age, life expectancy, and current interest rates to determine how much do they have to give you for you to essentially try and recreate that single life annuity on your own. Now, when interest rates are lower, just like a mortgage, you can afford more in a house. It's going to drive up your lump sum calculation. So let's take a look at the updates here. Let's first take a look at the bottom of the screen, this little seesaw pattern. Keep this in the back of your mind. As I just mentioned, as interest rates go down, your lump sum value will come up. As interest rates go up, which they will eventually, it's just a matter of when and how quickly, you'll start to see your lump sum value go down. Now, again, for many of you, the annuity may be the best choice. These interest rates are only affecting you if you're looking at the lump sum, and it's important we run a cash flow analysis to show those options side by side so you can make a good decision. Now, for ConocoPhillips and Phillips employees, the way they're going to calculate this is going to look at two different factors. They're going to look at the average of Treasury rates for pre-2009 calculations and the average of the PPA, the Pension Protection Act segment rates for post-2009. Now, those segment rates for the Pension Protection Act are going to be a short-term, mid-term, and long-term. The first segment is going to be focused on the years 0 through 5 as far as your retirement. The second segment is going to be years 6 through 20, and the third segment is going to be years 21 and beyond. So for most people, you're going to have a different calculation across the board given your age. But for most, that middle segment, that second segment right there, is going to have the most effect on your actual pension calculation. So what they do is they look at the previous fourth month in order to determine what that average is going to be for the quarter. So we look at this highlighter right here. The numbers just came out for September, and those numbers are going to correlate and be what your pension lump sum calculations will be for the first quarter of 2021. So if we look across the board here, the first segment is 0.51%. They're looking at 2.31%, then 3.15%. Now, if you were to retire right now in the fourth quarter of 2020, those interest rates are a little bit higher at 0.74%, 2.57%, and 3.32%. So what does this actually mean? If We go back to that seesaw and talk about interest rates changing. A good rule of thumb is a 1% change in interest rates will correlate to anywhere from an 8 to a 12% change in your pension lump sum, depending upon your age. So to keep it simple, 1% equals 10%. So in this case, the change from fourth quarter to first quarter of 2021, we're looking at what's that, a little bit over a quarter point in change. So that quarter point is going to mean that you probably are going to see close to about a 2 to 3% change in your pension lump sum if you were to wait until first quarter versus fourth quarter to commence those benefits. So if you had $1 million lump sum right now, that could go up by $20,000 to $30,000. If you had a $500,000 lump sum right now, it could go up by another 15,000 or so. Excuse me. If we go even farther back, we look at the interest rates in this quarter last year in 2019. They were all the way up at 2.41%, 3.51%, and 4.16%. So we've come down over 1%, which means a lot of the pension plans, a lot of the lump sums we've seen increase by anywhere from 10% to 15% over the last year. So a lot of clients we worked with that retired earlier in the year, we've explained to them that it makes sense to actually defer commencing your benefits because of this interest rate change, and they were able to increase their portfolio by tens of thousands, some of them over $100,000 in their lump sum calculation. Now, the reason that's important is it determines as to the best date to actually retire or the best date to commence your benefits, because you're not forced to take them as soon as you retire. You can defer them. Now, what this also means is on the flip side, when interest rates will change, we don't know, but they will change and they will come up. The question is how quickly. If this opposite happened, interest rates came up by 1%, that same $1 million lump sum you could be looking at today could drop to $900,000. So if you held on too long, you could effectively be working for free your last year. So it's really important to understand this and run a full cash flow analysis to see these different options. So at the end of the day, right now, 3/4 of Americans actually don't have a cash flow analysis or a financial plan. We can spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes just gathering some data from you. We'll be happy to put this together so you have this, but ultimately it's going to help you determine the best day to retire, and we can help you look at those options of the annuity versus lump sum and different retirement dates side by side, so you don't just know what they look like now, but how they look like in 20 or 30 years as well. At the end of the day, obviously we would love to work with you and make you a client, but we do want to make sure we at least help you out so that you are happy to spread the word. But if you are working with somebody else, we do recommend getting a second opinion still. We actually recommend our own clients do this every now and then. Make sure, again, the people you're working with, they have a full understanding of the ConocoPhillips plans, whether it be the everything from healthcare to the pension to the 401k plan, so you don't make any mistakes. I can't tell you how many times we've talked to somebody who has had an advisor, but they still made mistakes because they didn't know the plan. And then also make sure you understand their fee structure. At the retirement group, we are fiduciaries and we're transparent on our fee structure. We're not a one-size-fits-all firm, so we're not looking at cookie-cutter approaches. Our goal is to run that cash flow analysis and then back into some various choices for you and help you determine the best fit for your specific situation. And make sure you're working with a team. It's not just one person trying to wear every hat and do everything. And again, run that cash flow analysis, but be very careful to make sure it's a conservative cash flow analysis and you're not too optimistic on that planning. Now, again, I want to thank everybody for taking a little bit of time out of their day. When you have time, pick up the phone and give us a call at 1-800-900-5867. We'll be happy to update your cash flow analysis or run a new one for you or answer any questions or add you to the list, so you'll be rest assured you'll get the interest rate updates come this time next quarter. All right, I want to thank you and I hope you have a great day.